So we're talking about dynamic microphones. So this is a microphone where the changing air pressure moves the diaphragm, which in turn moves a coil of wire in a magnetic field. An electrical current is produced in the coil of wire that represents the changing air pressure. So I've got a broken one here to demonstrate. But what we're talking about is behind here there is a diaphragm. Okay, so the diaphragm is attached to a coil of wire which is surrounded by a magnet, or is surrounding a magnet rather, and when that comes out on this side you can see the two wires. So from there it is actually an electrical signal. So moving air goes in this way and electrical signal goes out this way. So this is a broken one, so normally those would be attached, but just a good opportunity for you to see the diaphragm inside there. And so that is what your voice is hitting and what makes this whole thing work. So these are a few different dynamic microphones that we have available to us to show some different options. And the dynamic operating principle is a simple and durable design. So this makes these microphones ideal for live settings. You might see someone drop this. Usually with a dynamic microphone it will continue to work. It's actually pretty nice and sturdy. So great for live settings where things like that might happen, or for drums. So this is a drum microphone, and it's great for drums because it might get hit by a stick where it is attaching to the drum. And the other thing is that these can handle really high sound pressure levels, which again guitar amplifiers or drums would blow up a weaker microphone. So if we want to do anything in a live setting, or if we want to do anything that's super loud or in danger of getting hit or damaged, a dynamic microphone is the first thing that we're going to look for. So these are nice and strong, sturdy, durable microphones, and that is their main selling point. That's their main feature. So what the dynamic microphone gains in durability, it can lack in frequency response range and transient response. So the frequency response range is how high and how low a microphone can hear, and these dynamic microphones generally can't hear as high or low as other microphones. And the transient response is the ability for this to react and be sensitive, and these are generally less sensitive microphones than what we would have available. So this should make the microphone less desirable for studio work, but there are many examples of great recording microphones that use this operating principle. So we're talking about how the frequency response range is pretty limited on these. Some instruments that is good. So the electric guitar, the high range tends to be a little bit shrill, and not everyone likes the high range on electric guitar. So this microphone here, which is the Sennheiser E609, this is purpose built for guitar amps, and you see this used in studios all the time. The same with this one, the Shure SM57. This is used on guitar amps all the time. The SM58, this is the world standard of vocal microphones for a live performance. In a studio we can use better microphones, but in a live performance this is used on almost every stage in the world. And these Samson microphones that we have here, the Q72 and the Q71, these are designed for drums. So this one here, it can clip onto a drum kit and it sit and point down at the drum. And this larger one is built for kick drum, so it actually has lots of low frequency response, but it doesn't really do much else in the high range. It's not very good for much else. You could maybe use it on a bass guitar. So let's have a listen to how some of these sound, and let's compare them against a condenser microphone so you sort of get to know how they work. So I'll record some sounds with both of them, and you see if you can pick which you think is more preferable in that situation. So it's not always that one is better or worse, it's just one is more suited to the job, so please remember that. These microphones on paper aren't as good as some condenser microphones, but these will do a better job in some situations. So for the voice and for what you're hearing right now, this is the dynamic microphone you can hear, and this is the condenser microphone that you can hear. So let's switch back again. Dynamic microphone, test, 1, 2, test, 1, 2. Condenser microphone, test, 1, 2, test, 1, 2. So what you're hearing, the difference there would be the frequency response range on the condenser microphone. Just hearing a lot more high frequency and a lot more low frequency stuff, certainly compared to the dynamic microphone. In terms of for a live show though, does the difference really matter? Probably not. And certainly there's a lot of advantages to using a dynamic microphone. Its durability, and it's less sensitive to picking up other sounds.